Michael Devers here, answering your questions regarding COVID-19 and business disruption. For today's question, what do you see as the long-term and short-term effects regarding our typical business as usual? In other words, will the workplace move to all remote? Will meetings move to all virtual? Again, big question. So I'd like to tackle it in two sections. Today, address remote work and virtual meetings, and then tomorrow discuss some of the short-term and long-term effects from a higher level. So when it comes to remote work and virtual meetings, I believe that going through this crisis as we have has been like hitting a giant reset button when it comes to remote work and virtual meetings. With the exception of the tech industry, which embraced this in the past, I think there's been somewhat of a stigma, a general and unspoken stigma regarding virtual meetings and remote work. Specifically, if it was important to you for the meeting, and if you were serious, you would show up for the meeting in person and show up at the workplace in person as well. I think going through this has largely removed that stigma as more and more businesses adapt to remote work and virtual meetings. I think that kind of perception that it's not an important meeting if you attend it virtual has been wiped away, and I think a lot of that will stay with us. But there are entire companies, businesses, and industries that cannot do their work remotely. So it's not going to be a all or nothing type future. Think about an event or a conference. You can somewhat duplicate it online, but it's not the same as having a conference or an event in person where you have those pop-up meetings and those chance encounters in hallways that happen. You just can't duplicate that virtually. Also, it's very hard to meet someone eye to eye virtually. In an industry I work in a lot, they call that eyeballing up. Very hard to do it via a video conference because you have a choice, right? You can either look at the camera to make it look like you're looking them in the eye, or you can look at the person directly in the eye. It's hard to do both. So again, to have that eye to eye contact, you really have to have a face-to-face interaction. I think also what we're going to see regarding remote work and virtual meetings, this will mean that business travel will take a long time to get back to the level it was in the fall of 2019. There will no longer be just the casual hop on a plane to go take a meeting. That's going to require a lot more consideration. We saw that also after 9/11, but I think that you're going to see those same kind of effects be deeper and more prolonged post-COVID-19. So again, I think you're going to see the stigma removed from virtual meetings and remote work, and more companies that in the past hadn't embraced it be open to that being more of a business as usual situation. Tomorrow, we'll talk about some of the more general long-term, short-term, and medium-term effects post-COVID-19. If you have a specific question about your business, drop it in the comments below. You can direct message me here or visit me at michaeldevers.com, where I also share weekly more business disruption, easy for me to say, and crisis leadership information. Thank you very much.